everyone, welcome to the November 2020 Yarkshire Gamer update. And it's been a steady away month in the games room. There's been no gaming this month. I did try a bit of solo gaming last month, but unfortunately I've been very busy at work, so I've not had time to tinker with some solo gaming, so there's none of that this month, but there is quite a few new units to have a look at. There's a few new purchases, including the big purchase that I promised I would show you last month. So there's lots to get our teeth into, so we'll get started and I'll come back very shortly with from the lead pile to the painted pile. So the first thing I'm going to look at today, new into the room since the last update, are these buildings. Now, familiar people with the blog and these updates will have seen my 28mm Cops and Robbers 1970s project, a little mini project I'm on the go at the moment. I've got most of the figures done, although I've picked a few more recently. But one of the things that has been a revelation from this project are these buildings. They're designed for model railway layouts. However, they work perfectly for a 1970s, early 1980s British street scene, and they're quite reasonably priced, and as you can see, they look brilliant. They look absolutely fantastic. There's a couple of examples here that I've built up over the last month from two different companies. We'll look at this one first, this general store, and this one comes from a company called Purple Bob's Hobbies. If you look back on Yorkshire Gamer, there is a review of those buildings when they first came out, and I have to say the quality is absolutely stupendous. I'll just bring this up to the camera, and can you see inside that shop there's a load of produce, and if you look in there, it's all the sort of stuff that you remember. Well, I remember being in shops when I was a kid. Lovely detail on the side of it. It's got a painted sign on the sign for Our White's Lemonade, which people of a certain age will remember the adverts. And there's one for starch on the side. They're just made from card, and if you look at the back, it's just blank. These are called half relief models, and as I say, they're designed for railway layouts, so they sort of sit on the back of the layout, so you don't need the back of it. Going to use them for a similar sort of thing for mine games. They're going to be the back of the layout, and yes, some people will moan and say, oh god, they should be full. Whatever. These look fantastic. I really, really like this. So this one's from Purple Bob's Hobbies, and it is an O gauge railway, which is a slightly bigger scale than 28mm, but as most of you know, the 28mm scale now, certainly for things like crooked dice, are more heroic and probably closer to 32mm, which is very close to O gauge, and I think they're brilliant. Perfect. The other building is this rather fantastic car showroom. And you may recognise that proprietor, good old Arthur Daly, and this is from a different company. This is from Kingsway Models. Kingsway do a fantastic range of stuff. Unfortunately, most of it is in the OOHO scale, railway scale, which would equate to a sort of 1/76 scale or 20mm figure. But he does do, the guy does do a few 1/43 scale O gauge buildings, of which this is one. And I've been trying to persuade him to do some more, so if you all pile onto his website, then we might get some more. He does a bank, which would be absolutely fantastic for Cops and Robbers, obviously. Lots of street shops and stuff like that, which high street shops, which would be brilliant for what I'm after. So again, this is a card building. This is slightly different from the one we looked at from Purple Bob's Hobbies, because this is on a lot thicker card, and it's got less parts on this one, but that doesn't distract from the quality of it. It is extremely good. And once again, if you look at the back, it's half relief, but nobody's going to notice that when we're busy down playing on these games. Here's my good old trusty, highly expensive Sweeney car, Ford console, just for a bit of idea for you for scale wise. It is absolutely perfect, take it from me, for 28mm. So there we go, there's a couple of new buildings into the Yarkshire Gamer games room, and we're back shortly with some painted figures. So here's the first painted unit of the month, and traditionally it is the work in progress unit from last month, and no different here. These are the 28mm The Assault Group Italian Wars shot unit that I was working on at the start of last month. Here they are, all painted and based. Lovely figures. There is a separate blog post on them if you want to go and have a look. They paint up really nicely, I have to say. I wasn't sure when I first started working with tag figures whether they would suit my style of painting, but as you can see here, they've come out all right. These are painted to be the supporting shot unit for my Borgia pike block, and the colours of the I'll use uniform and inverted commas. The colours that these chaps are wearing is just based around the colours of the Borgia flag, and they're ready to go into action as soon as we get some gaming. The other 28mm unit that's been finished this month is this one, and these are 28mm Tiger miniatures, World War I Turkish Cavalry. I've not heard of Tiger miniatures before I bought these. I was searching around the internet, as I tend to do, to try and find some more cavalry for my World War I Mesopotamia collection. And these guys popped up, and they are designed for the Balkans War, which happened 1912-1913. So a little bit before the time of my gaming, which is 1916-17. But I think they're absolutely perfect. Can't really see any problems with me using these, and they will be used. They are a little bit bigger than some of the other stuff that I've got. They're a large 28mm, but they work perfectly well on the table with all the other stuff. They are good price, £5.50 for two, which is very good for 28mm figures. And I'll definitely be upping these to a unit of 24. So there's some Tiger miniatures, World War I Turkish Cavalry. The rest of the stuff that I've painted this month has been 15mm for the World War II Kursk collection that's relatively new. And first up are these. They featured in the things I've bought a couple of months ago, and it's a reinforcement of Russian vehicles, but they've all come from a company called Vendor, I think that's the correct name, and they plastic kits, and they sell for about £3.5–4 if you can find them in the right place. And they're not quite as nice as the Plastic Soldier Company vehicles, but they do fill a large number of gaps. Apart from, and I've just remembered that the SU-76s on this are Plastic Soldier Company. So we'll have a look at these in due course, and I'll just zoom in and move the camera around, shaky cam. And what I'll do is I'll bring vehicles into this patch here for us to have a look at. First one is this here. This is Soviet truck, from Zventna, and I bought 3 of these, and just for a bit of Soviet transport, and I think they look really nice. Very, very basic models. This was the hardest kit of all of them, and had about maybe 15 pieces. So it's not too difficult to make these things. Next up, we have got some KV1s, and bought 5 of these. They were still kicking around during Kursk, although they were a little bit outdated by the time we got there. They were still a decent tank with a reasonable armour, and I've got 5 of those to kick around. All of these I'm looking at probably dirtying them up a bit, certainly the tracks over time, but with, as usual, I'm getting these done and shelled out as soon as possible. So there's some KV1s, 5 of those. If we've got a KV1, then we're going to have a KV2, and these are nearly all gone by the time of Kursk, but there's still a few kicking around, so I bought a couple, and you can see my fantastic modelling skills there by the ginormous gaps in the plates. But if you have ever seen a real Soviet built tank, that's quite good construction from them. They weren't the best at putting stuff together, they just did a lot of it, and rather than having perfectly square corners like the Germans did and made 100 tanks, the Russians would just literally clobber stuff together and make 1,000, and well, we all know who won. I've got 3 of these bad boys, ISU 152s, beast, absolute beast, Tiger Killer, and they just come into service at Kursk. I think off the top of my head that there were 24 saw action at Kursk, so they were very rare, but hey, I'm a Wargamer, I've bought 3. But I won't be buying any more, very much like I won't be buying any more than the 4 Tigers that I've got, but they are certainly something to have on the table. And then the final type of vehicle we've got is this little guy. I love these. These are SU-76s. They look pretty cool. Dual purpose gun, which will come in handy, and a couple of crew figures in there. Really like the look of these. I think they painted up and look really good. Again, when I get the hang of that Tamiya mud, if you remember, I bought some Tamiya mud a couple of months ago. I'm going to dirty up all the tracks on these. I'm just not 100% sure I'm doing it right at the moment. So for the moment, there we go. I'll just zoom back out, get all those in the picture. And there's another, 3, 7, 10, 15, 17 Soviet vehicles there, all ready to go for my next, sadly, solo game of my Kursk project. So there's just one more painted unit to go, and I'll get those to you shortly. And finally, for the lead pile to paint pile this month is the 15mm Plastic Soldier Company German World War II Infantry, and I've done what will be a couple of companies for our rules and some support weapon stands, just basically piling stuff out of a box and getting enough for a small game. I've done a little bit more of the Russians. I think I've got another company of Germans to paint and some more heavy weapons if I need them. And I'm not sure with these. Let's zoom in, see what we get when we zoom in. Sort of greeny. I've used the World War II Vallejo German. Do apologise for shaky cam. I've used the World War II German uniform, and it's quite green, but then when you look at the vast variation of greens and greys that the German infantry could be in, then it's not really a big deal. I've not done any camo stuff, mostly because it takes ages, and I'm knocking out big armies at reasonable quality. If you're at Yorkshire Gamer follower, you will know how I work anyway. So there we go. We have got those, and that's all painted stuff I've done this month. So that's 16 Italian Wars 28mm, 6 28mm cavalry, 17 15mm tanks, and about 115mm World War II Germans. And I would say, for me, that was a quiet month. But there we go. So it is work in progress, and I always like to show in the monthly update the unit that I'm working on at the time of filming. And it's quite a good psychological thing, really, because it puts the pressure on me to then have it ready for the next month. So there is method in my madness. I'll just take those out of the way because they're actually from another unit. And what I'm building at the moment is going back to my 28mm ancient Mortimer Glorium project for the Punic Wars, and that's going to be big over the next month or so. So there's a dog hair there, just get that removed. And I'm just working on some Punic Cavalry here, and these are 28mm from First Corps. And I've not done a massive amount on them, and I'll just use the camera to zoom in. So I've done 3 horses, unbased as yet. These were all done in a huge batch of cavalry I did a couple of weeks ago. I like to do my horses in massive batches and then just have them lying around in boxes waiting to be turned into full units. So I've painted 3 of the horses. I've made a very, very brief start on the figures. All I've done is put a base coat for the metals on there, and then I'll be using, as always, Little Big Man Studios Carthaginian shield designs to finish those off. So that's the work in progress. It's going to be a 12 figure unit, 4 bases of 3 cavalry, each 60 by 60. 60 by 60 is my ancient space, if you like. Everything goes on 60 by 60 bases if it fits, and hopefully, fingers crossed, you'll be seeing them done and dusted at the start of next month. How much? How much? Welcome to the Yorkshireman's nightmare. The time when he needs to take money from his wallet and exchange them for goods or services. I spent a bit of brass. I always spend a bit of brass every month. And I'm building up to the big purchase because I know that's the only reason you've tuned in. But I'm going to make you wait a little bit longer. And there's a couple of things that I've bought this month, other than the big thing. And first thing up is I bought some of these just as a bit of a try. They are O-gauge modelling figures from JK Modelling. Just bought them off the internet. It was £4 for 20 figures. And they are sort of a... Anyone familiar with railways, I have to say I'm not a railway modeller. And they're very, very basic figures. But I bought 20 of them, and there's a nice mix of just random standing people. I'm going to paint a couple up. I've got a couple on the paint table as we speak at the moment. I'm going to see what they look like. If they don't fit in with the stuff that I've got already, they are a lot thinner than the stuff that I've already got. But I think I'm going to paint up all right. And just how they scale with the crooked dice miniatures that I've already got. And not a lot of detail on that one. Some are better than others. This lady here is quite a good one. reminds me of my gran, actually. So that £4 for 40 figures, that could be the bargain of the century if they fit in with the crooked die stuff. So I'll do a report on those when I've got some done, and we'll see how we get on. Next purchase in this month is another vehicle for my Sweeney project, and this is a Triumph Dolomite Sprint. This company, Vanguard, do 1/43 scale vehicles, quite a lot of them. There's quite a wide range, and all the stuff I've got so far had some sort of TV link. Obviously there's the Ford Consul Sweeney car, the purple Mark III Cortina was also in the Sweeney, it was their backup car, the Morse's Jag, and then police and ambulance vehicles. So what I do need to get is just some more generic vehicles to just sit around in the background of part of scenarios, etc. And I popped onto eBay, as I do on a regular basis, and you can pick these up. I think I paid about £15 for this one. They are superb models. So there she is, Triumph Dolomite Sprint in an absolutely lovely shade of yellow. Some really nice details on these. They've got all the badges on the back and a number plate, etc. Window down, all the stuff is inside, and they are collector's models, if you like, but I think they look absolutely superb, and I'd rather pay an extra few quid to get a Vanguard's model than some of the other stuff that looks like a toy car. Yes, this is a toy car, I get that, but it is more of a model than a toy car. It comes with a little bag that's sealed, and it's got the wing mirrors in there, and a little collector's sort of not warranty, but certificate of authenticity. There we go. I remembered what they were. I haven't used or put the wing mirrors on any of the other cars. I don't know why, because I'm not going to sell these. I'm not a collector. I'm not investing in them. But I just feel a pang of guilt. Somebody's left that in there for a long time and not stuck it on. But there we go. So a few more of these coming in over the months, just to, like I say, just to build up the vehicles in the background of my Sweeney games. So there we go. Vanguard's 1/43 Triumph Dolomite. Okay, here we go. The big reveal. As you can see, the camera's moved back because I need more space to show off what I've just bought. So, quick check that Mrs. Riley is not looking about what's going on in the games room, because here we go. Here's my lockdown madness purchase, and I nearly fell over picking it up. So there we go. Look at that. That's a proper box. Okay, so what have we got in here? We have got, from the lovely Empires at War, we have got a Crusader Castle. Yes, I have bought an entire castle, and it is massive. It is absolutely huge. If you go on the Empires at War website and look at the castles, it says, and I did I did send a message to the lad who runs the company and said, are you sure that's the small castle? Because it's on there as a small castle. And trust me, it isn't. It's going to fill up the vast majority of at least a third of this table. But it's locked down and we're all going mad, so why don't we just embrace it and spend some brass? So this was 90 quid, 90 of your English pounds for the big castle. So I'll just go through them. Castle steps with storeroom and dungeon. Ooh, quite nice. And then in the box we've got a square short tower, Look at that. That is absolute chunky. Castle straight wall section, and then written in pen ×6. And then inline and corner tower ×4. It's castle square or squarish, needs 4 corners. And also in there is a castle gatehouse. So in fact, I've got a plan for this. If you may remember, and I'll just talk while I put it back in the box. You may remember last year, or this year, earlier this year, in lockdown 1, my lad came back from university, and we had some really, really quality time together, and we built up the Renaissance town, which, if you haven't seen, again, there's a blog post on Yarkshire Gamer and a YouTube video or review of the stuff that we built up. So what I'm going to do is, lads coming out for Christmas, this is going to be our Christmas project. So Kieran, if you watch this, mate, this is what we're going to be doing. I think that's quite cool, to be fair. So there we go. That's what we've spent money on this month, and I'm looking forward to building that castle. It's going to be good. I'm not looking forward to painting it and putting on the big balls and doing all the terrain and stuff, but it's going to be a nice project for next year, I think that is, to get it all finished up and table ready. So that's what's new in building. Hey, there we go. If you remember that, that was a bit of a mad game show. But here's the scores on the doors for my comedy Team YG, and just a little bit of a see what's going on in the world of Yorkshire Gamer in terms of followers. We're up again on the 4 places that I put stuff. Up 25 on Facebook, same as last month. Up 32 on the Twitters. Slow and steady, and up 40 on Insta, and up 38 on the YouTubes, which has slowed down a bit. I think I was getting 60, 70 new followers on there last few months. But no, I'm happy with that, and I always say it always amazes me the amount of people that come down to Yorkshire Gamer and have a look and are interested in what I and the guys do when they can come back here at Yorkshire Gamer. So thanks very much, all those who follow us, and if you don't, why not get yourself subscribed, followed, whatever. And I do all sorts of stuff. Some guy last night on Insta wanted a comparison photograph, did it straight away, up within an hour. So we look after our customers here at Yorkshire Gamer. Well, there we go. That's the end of the video, folks. Thanks very much for watching. It's been a steady away month. We've had some new units painted, some new purchases in, and I'll just leave you with this end bit here. Again, look after yourself, guys. It's a lonely time for a lot of people, and I really miss having the laughter and the fun that we have here at Yorkshire Gamer. And I'm sure everyone around the country is feeling that, not being able to get in the same room and gaming with people. But stick through, fingers crossed, we'll be out the other side of Christmas with something positive. Speaking of positive things, I've just signed up for Analog Hobbies Paint Challenge 11. Something I've done for, 5 or 6 years now, maybe even more. And I'm looking forward to that. I've got my 28mm Italian Allied Legion all prepped and ready to go. Regular viewers will have seen some of the build of that and a couple of reviews I did on the figures. So that's ready to go. I'm looking forward to that greatly, and that's always a nice, friendly group of people who enjoy painting and encourage each other through the winter months to get some stuff done. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm hoping again to maybe do a little bit more solo gaming here, put together a game video for you if I can, all depending on how busy we are at work. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you just before Christmas with a December update. All the best from Yarkshire Gamer. See you soon.